I had a hive issue an early swarm, and as you can see, they are now up in a tree out of my reach. I decided to set up a few empty hives to see if I could entice the bees to move in. I also watched a helpful video from Duck River Honey on how to capture swarms. There are several YouTube videos in his series on how to catch swarms. In the video I watched, he mentioned a research paper from Cornell University that details the factors honeybees use to determine a new nesting site. I will detail these at the end of the video. Based on these factors, I decided to do a few things to make my empty hives more attractive. First, I used an entrance reducer to make the entrance to the hive smaller and more easily defendable. Then I decided to try something I had never done before, which was to place a feeder jar with syrup on the empty hive. Finally, I placed a SwarmBait brand swarm lure in the empty hive. I will leave a link to the SwarmBait website in the video description. I soon noticed scout bees checking out the entrance to the hive. I went back to the house to have lunch, and then this happened. A huge swarm in the bee yard. I tried to position my camera to capture the swarm moving into the empty hive. The sound of the swarm was incredible. Let's take just a moment to listen to the steady hum of the bees as they move to the new nesting site. Swarming is a natural process in the life cycle of a honeybee colony. When a colony becomes overcrowded, the queen bee will leave the hive with a large portion of the worker bees to find a new home. This is the colony's way of reproducing and expanding its population. Swarming usually occurs in the spring or early summer when the hive is at its peak population. The swarm will gather in a location nearby while scout bees search for a suitable new hive location. Once a new home is found, the swarm will move to the new location and establish a new colony. Swarming is an important part of the honeybee's natural behavior and helps to prevent overcrowding in the hive. Here are 6 signs that will help you identify if your hive is preparing to swarm. 1. Increased honey production. One sign that your hive is about to swarm is an increase in honey production. The bees may be working extra hard to store up extra food before they swarm. 2. Queen cells. If you notice queen cells being built in the hive, this is a clear sign that the bees are preparing to swarm. The presence of queen cells indicates that the bees are getting ready to raise a new queen to take over the hive after the old queen leaves with the swarm. 3. Congestion at the hive entrance. Another sign of an impending swarm is congestion in the hive entrance. If you notice a lot of bees clustering around the entrance, it could be a sign that the hive is becoming overcrowded and the bees are preparing to swarm. 4. Restless behavior. Bees in a hive that is about to swarm may exhibit restless behavior. They may be seen flying around the hive more than usual or clustering in large groups inside the hive. 5. Increased number of drones. As the hive prepares to swarm, you will often see an increase in the number of drones in the hive. The increase in drone population is a natural part of the swarming process. And 6. Bees leaving the hive. Finally, one of the most obvious signs that your hive is about to swarm is the sight of bees leaving the hive in a large group. This is the actual swarm leaving with the old queen to find a new location to build a new hive. By this time, it is too late to intervene. You better find a ladder. Now, as promised, here are the 12 factors honeybees use to determine a nesting site. 1. Space. Bees look for a new location that provides enough space for the colony to expand and thrive. 2. Site quality. The bees assess the quality of the potential new nesting site, looking for a secure and well-protected location. 3. Entrance size. The entrance to the nesting site needs to be large enough to allow easy access and exit for the bees, but not too large that it cannot be easily defended. Volume. The bees prefer a nest site with a large enough volume to accommodate the growing colony. 5. Bees tend to prefer nest sites that are located 8 to 12 feet above the ground. 6. Nest site odor. The bees are attracted to nest sites with a specific odor that signals a suitable location for the colony. 7. Humidity. The humidity levels of the potential new nest site are also taken into consideration by the bees. They will not move into a wet hive. 8. Nest site temperature. The bees look for a nest site with the right temperature to ensure the comfort and survival of the colony. 9. Nest site light exposure. The amount of light that the potential nest site receives is also an important factor for the bees. 10. Food availability. Bees consider the availability of food resources in the vicinity of the potential new nest site. 11. Nest site water availability. Access to water is essential for bees, so they look for a nest site close to a water source. And finally, 12. Nest site distance. The distance from the current nest site to the potential new location is also taken into account by the bees when making their decision. When I thought that the show was almost over, I noticed some activity near the empty Apimaye hive I had prepared as a swarm trap. That's when I realized that it had been a double swarm. As I was busy watching one hive, the swarm had split into two separate swarms, and they were moving into both empty hives. I'd never seen this before. A double swarm. Imagine that. Let's take a look at the second hive. Can you believe it? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to receive future notification of future videos. Also, please visit our website at worldofhoney.com, where you can find a wide selection of unique honeys from around the world. We appreciate your support.